Hey everybody, Radaman here for another episode of Stellaris. So we left off fighting a three-front war. Yes, that is fun, right? We are doing a pretty good job of it actually. So I'm going to continue fighting this three-front war. We're pretty close to achieving our war goals, and then we'll go back to working on economy. I can do more than one thing at once, but, you know, I'd like to sort of explain my way through everything that I'm doing. Alright, so someone pointed out in comments that I ought to go through some of the notifications I'm getting. So, timed projects are just random things that have timers on them. Usually it's battle debris. So, this time project specifically is the debris at Ibeline. The Ascension perk I have available is not being used right now because I want a geneticist. So, Danny mentioned that one of the good ways I could try to increase my chances to get the genes is to hire a geneticist. Ooh, Spark of Genius. I'll hire you. Let's go and get rid of the older researcher here, you, and put in the Spark of Genius instead. Go into my leaders and fire you so I don't have to pay you anymore. Yep, I am cruel. And I have some spare energy credits, and by some I mean a lot, so I'm going to try to hire a gene expert as my societal researcher. This will allow, if I can find one, will increase my chances to get gene research tech. So right here is someone that does statecraft, and green is always going to be societal. Orange is industrial, or engineering rather, and then blue is physics. And right now, and then green is like miscellaneous. So here's physics, particle physics. This is New Worlds, but I want, that's military theory. Oh, here's another good scientist to hire. That's the robot version of Spark of Genius. So we will... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's get rid of you. Doing a little swap here. Put you as Dorfill. Because if I check my science, I have this hired leader here, which I'm going to want to keep employed. So, let's fire you. I'm doing a big old shuffle here. Here is a biology. That is exactly what I want. So if I go to technology and put a biology leader in, my chances of finding biology-based research increases a bit. A little bit. Unlike a lot of other 4X games where there is sort of a tech progression tree, this one has random chance tech progression, which I like, but it can be frustrating. It actually can hamper your ability to spread. So like I've had games, for instance, where hydroponics tech wasn't being offered for an extraordinarily unfortunate duration of time. And as a result, my ability to feed a growing empire was gone, for lack of a better term.
Incoming transmission.
Okay, some of the other alerts. These are commercial pacts between other nations that I don't care about. This because it's not gold lined, is a non-aggression pact between. Well, I actually timed out. Here's a non-aggression pact being offered, but I'm not going to take it, so I'm going to right-click it. Repaired fleets, edicts that expired, like Nemistic Visualization. I like that, but I'm going to skip that for now because I really don't need the energy credits that gives. I'm mostly just interested in cleaning up these wars. Let's speed up the time a little bit.
Competitive station engaged.
And what I'm trying to do is get to a point where I have conquered enough territory that they decide to surrender to me. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start landing my armies on this planet. Hopefully my armies are tougher than theirs.
Attempting to acquire planetary market.
I will take some losses here.
Actualized.
Because they actually have some defenses. Alright. This is good stuff. Research. I really want to get Deep Space Black Site. Even though that is not biological research. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And also, faction gain influence is pretty good too. Deep Space Black Site is something that you can build on a starbase, and it increases the likelihood that people follow your governing ethics, which is exactly what I would like. That will help my influence go up a bit. Here's a migration treaty that I'm going to ignore. Here's my invasion. As you can see, I've definitely taken some losses. I just have basic army. I don't have like a improved troop type that I would get from technology. So these fights are not super one-sided like everything else has been. My scientist here has done one of the 2 debris research. That's good.
Upscaling complete.
This invasion is just about done.
Planetary market
I
secured.
have 9 troops left after the invasion, and we will go and go mess with their homeworld. That will put the biggest hole into their defenses.
Competitors
The biggest
engaged.
damage to the war score. Homeworlds are always the most important.
Upscaling complete.
My ships here. Am I stuck? Oh no, I can travel through
Research
purple
actualized.
here. Purple must like me, huh? Yeah, they do like me. Oh, I can even do a commercial pact with you. Yeah, well, might as well. I'm running out of people to do commercial pacts with because I'm basically bossing them into oblivion. New research. I'm going to do impulse thrusters. Mega cannons are really, really nice, but I kind of like the energy weapon version of them. And that's weapons that you would use for battleships mostly, and Titans. And I haven't rolled any of those out yet. I'm actually not planning on it until I wrap up this war. Sabtrack Prime got some construction done. It was a commerce megaplex, which means my stability is actually lower than I thought. Probably because I have some low pop approval. And my habitability is a little bit lower as well. So they accepted my commerce pack, these guys. So I can start a branch office here. I basically have closed all my other branch offices, so it'd be nice to establish one finally. I have the influence and energy credits. And now I can choose the buildings that I would want. And I'm probably going to go with alloys for now. Private military industries, because I have a severe lack of alloy income. If I check their other planets... Ooh, I can't exactly... They're 18 sized. I can't exactly see how much pop I have on them until I do... Let's do a trade of active sensor link. For 30 years. And that way I'll be able to... There he is. I'll be able to see what their planets look like to see if I want to expand. So 44 slot, they could definitely support... Oh, but their planet is doing really, really poorly. The AI, unfortunately, is really dumb. They make really bad choices. So this purple's planets are like unbelievably massively crime-ridden and terrible. Even the home planet is pretty massively crime-ridden and terrible. In fact, that makes me think, is there any way to help with the stability? This might help with a little bit of stability. Yeah, there's not much I can do for him in terms of crime. So I'm just going to make my own private military I'll benefit myself here, is I guess what I'm saying. And I'm not going to care about trying to help him out. His worlds are garbage, and they're always going to be garbage. That was a new offer for research help from the curators. I'm waiting for this, there we go. This starbase to allow me to repair here, and then I'm going to hit their homeworld. My L cluster. Let's see if the curators are able to sell me some more L cluster info. There was a bit of a cooldown here. Yep, it will take a few more years for them to be able to muster up some L gate insight.
Research actualized.
Particle lances. That's what I wanted. Perfect. Advanced combat rolls, also really good, but I'm going to do particle lances for now. One of the big reasons to do it immediately is because if you, let's say you have battleships, and let me show you some battleships right now. In my ship designers, here's my new battleship. So if particle lances is a whole different ship section. It is called X size weapons. So you have small, medium, and large, and then X, which is the particle lances. So if I designed battleships and then wanted to add particle lances later, it'd be really cost prohibitive because I'd basically have to rebuild the whole front section of the ship, which is expensive. So it's best to research that stuff right away so that you unlock the X-sized ship sections so that when you want the lances, or, you know, when you're rolling out ships, you don't have to, like, rebuild your entire fleet, retool your entire fleet, which is, like I said, pretty expensive. I'm having my scientist follow this navy here. Their fleet is actually formidable compared to mine. But I have some allies that are going to come help because they're taking point. So these ally fleets
Competitors engaged.
are now warping in, and I don't have to fight this on my own. Good. I took manual control over that fleet and sort of flew in circles so that my allies could arrive in time.
Colonial enterprise established.
And now, Rathador is a full colony. So let's do a little bit of decisions here. Let's encourage planetary growth and distribute luxury goods to try to have people immigrate here. And this planet is very much an energy-focused planet, like unbelievably so. So that might be sort of the focus we put it in. Let's see about my other planets. How are they doing? They're doing okay. Just making sure I have housing and jobs. Rathador doesn't have a lot of housing. I'll queue one up because we just started. So housing is here and jobs is here. So we have, 12 jobs, 14 housing. Plenty of room for expansion. Rathador just started. We have 12 and 11. 10 and 5. Dram could use a few more housing, but it's still going to be a while for that to fill up. And 17 and 12, yeah. We have plenty of room for growth, is I guess what I'm trying to point out. Alright, so their home planet has a pretty decent-sized army. Not one that I can steamroll all that quickly. So one of the things I could do is start recruiting some more. Ideally, I would like to research some projects that allow me to have better troops rather than the standard assault troops, which are not particularly useful. And my other fleet is heading towards a new enemy. And I just unlocked a tradition. Kinship will work. What does that do for me? People can be demoted more quickly. Okay, that's fine. What that means is if I had, like, let's say a specialist job here and I destroyed the building, those specialists could fill worker jobs quickly. It's weird to be orbitally shelling a planet that has a branch office on it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I'm going to start sending my troops to reinforce my army. And my other navy has finally reached the other empire that I'm at war with. I am in a multi-front war here. I'm excited about that, but obviously a lot of work to do. Ooh, and I just met some new aliens. Let's go investigate that. Okay. So if we check, they have an army of about 500. I have an army of 250, so I'm definitely going to need to reinforce considerably before I can be... before it's a good idea to go and mess with them. Tinyaki. Okay, we researched that. I'm surprised they haven't given up yet. Now, the territory that I need to conquer the most is the territory that I'm trying to become forced to become a subsidiary. So me taking over these people's territory first was less effective. Same with being down here. The most effective is to go against the primary goal. The primary goal is to make this person, this empire, a subsidiary. So messing with that specific empire is the way to do it. Unfortunately for me, that means a lot of troops and navy and army and all that. So I'm trying to reinforce as fast as I can, but it does take some time. I got the black site. Let's go ahead and get some quick and easy. So here's a gene warriors, but that's going to take a while. So I'm just going to get low-hanging fruit bio research done to try to get access to the gene modification stuff that I am aiming to get. Ooh, there's a lot of good science down that way. So where's my scientist? He's up here. I'm going to tell him not to be evasive, to be ignoring the dangers of enemies and try to get that research. It's pretty far. I doubt he'll get there, but there's nothing other than firing him. There's really nothing else for him to do. And I just got the sound notification that my armies are all recruited. So I'm adding 15 new troops to the original 9, which will be pretty good. We'll have a nice sized fleet. This planet is barely protected troop-wise, so we'll go ahead and land pronto. And Rathador here, where are you? Rathador, let's add a district job.
Commencing seizure of planetary asset.
And this invasion
Planetary
went
market
pretty much how I thought it would. Really easy and straightforward. They tried to send ships to stop me. Their ships did a pretty good job. They destroyed 2 more destroyers. So at this rate, I ought to repair this fleet once this Starhold repairs itself. Come on, there we go. As soon as the Starhold has a military power indicator, it means it's back in operations, so we can repair the fleet. Readying ourselves for more battle. Checking this war score, we are pretty close to being able to accomplish what we want. Oh, my allies are actually invading Girzana for me. They sent hunter-killer robots, so I don't have to. That's awesome. So this fleet here on Girzana, we will embark all, and then because they temporarily embarked on the planet, I have to re-queue up a merge order. And let's go after Wayfrid. The other fleet just repaired. I'm jumping around a lot here, I realize, but let's go after high priority targets, being mostly planets that we can invade. We should be really close. 12 away. That's pretty good. Now the rest of these planets might be a little bit easier to take out. They might not have as many as large armies. Actually, this one has a pretty large army too. Well, that's fine. I did send a lot of backup. As you can see, all these little ships here with it looks like briefcases to me. But all those little ships are going to reinforce our primary fleet. What about you? 250? No problem. I can take that out in an afternoon.
Attempting to acquire planetary market.
Someone just closed their borders to me, the Sathori, which means I can probably declare war on them again. That's a pretty good indicator that your armistice is over. Unfortunately, that also means that this scientist that wanted to get down there can't. There's no free path anymore. Oh, I have a planet that is not being traded with. Let me fix that. Get another trade hub. Try to get Jinnog's trade value. Alright, you are just... I'm just going to destroy this one. Fire him so I don't have to pay him anymore.
Research actualized.
Alright, I got the freebie, easy to get bio-research, and I'll get another one because I'm not getting what I want unlocked.
Planetary market secured.
There goes another planet. This fleet I'm going to intercept. Because they sent an army with the fleet to try to get their planet back. Well, that's not going to be allowed. Your planet is mine. Oh, additionally, I guess I do have... So let's quickly check on sectors. Rathador and Sabtrock are in the same sector, so they share the same governor. I hadn't realized that was the case, but I'm glad to see that that is true. Because I hadn't hired a governor for them, but he doesn't need one. Alright, so this fleet is done for. That, once again, pushes our war goals further. What I might do is go on a bit of a capture spree while we wait for our army to rendezvous. So I'm gonna just capture some territory to try to make these guys fold. Because I'm basically tired of waiting. This war is lasting a long time and I want to wrap it up. Fleet just repaired. Complete. One of the advantages of sort of messing with all three empires is I'm definitely weakening them in the process. So if I want to go to war with them in 10 years, they're going to be a lot weaker because I've crippled them a bit than, they would otherwise. Getting really close. -6. I can taste it. And soon I'm going to have particle lances and impulse thrusters. I'm going to have some pretty nice ships. Not Fallen Empire worthy killers, but pretty good. who got lost? 3 transport fleets just got intercepted and probably as Wadame.
Research actualized.
Or whatever that place is called. Man, I am just not finding the bio-research. I'll go ahead with leader lifespan increase. And hopefully the genetic engineering gets offered soon. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I said a bottleneck. This time, obviously, it's not hydroponics. It is genetic engineering. It probably in, you know, not maybe 4 out of 5 times would have already been offered to me. But I'm just getting unlucky. All right, what are you offering? You are offering more monthly unity. Being your patron and all, so I'll take that. My fleet is 13 size now rather than the 9 before. It's still not quite big enough to just happily deploy on planets, but it's growing. And my main fleet is 1 hop away from these guys, their capital world. So I'm ready to mess them up. We should be 7. How'd I go in the other direction? I think because they messed with my army, they think that they did a good thing and they were tough or whatever. You weren't tough. Yeah, I think I just honestly need to go after capitals at this point to make them fold. So, or planets. So back to Warfred after we're done. We have a bunch of army fleets that have been intercepted, so that's not so cool. Only a 200 army here. We can go ahead and just land on it immediately. Might lose a little bit, but I'm not going to lose that much.
Commencing seizure of planetary asset.
Our other fleet is getting pretty sizable to the point where I feel like I could probably throw them into combat. My
Planetary
first
market
army
secured.
just got trimmed down a bit because I hastily invaded, but I'm fine with that. It's not that big of a deal. This war is almost over. We're -1 now. Capping their capital planet pushed my war score up a bit. And just looking for things to do. Making sure Dorfill, I can upgrade the planetary capital, and that means that after I get that done, I can put a galactic stock exchange here. Bunch of open borders, invasion overs. Yeah, there's a lot going on that if you're not intimately familiar with Stellaris, there's just so many notifications. I guess it's a little overwhelming, but in my opinion, I always like more information than less. Less information kind of sucks. I'd rather feel inundated by it than starved by it, you know?
Planetary market forfeited.
Ooh, they recapped Aswame, or whatever it's called. But the war is almost over. They barely have any war score left. Which is good for me. I think this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Either this or here.
Research actualized.
Come on, offer it. Boo, not cool. Alright, I'm going to get Gene Warrior Army. Just because I'd rather have better troops for future wars. Even though it's a long and expensive research. It does... There's a lot of bang for your buck there.
Research actualized.
And I got the particle lances. Awesome. I'm going to get the advanced combat roll. I'm very excited about that. That will make for
Planetary
some
market secured.
pretty nice... some pretty nice battleships soon. I just got one more planet. There's almost nothing left for my fleet down here to do. This must... Oh, yeah, and this was enough. This was the outcome I wanted. So, the Sovereign... It's funny that they're called Sovereign. The Sovereign Geroid Directorate is now a subsidiary under me. I think that what that also signifies... Oh, actually, I got to keep my branch offices there. That's pretty cool. Because, as you can see, I can't form a commercial pact with a subsidiary, but I guess it doesn't automatically close the branch offices of one that already has it. So, I don't know if that's a bug or a feature, but I'll take it.
Research actualized.
Impulse thrusters, that's great. Star fortresses would be really nice. Maybe that's next. And alas, I'm just about out of time. So, yeah, I've been trying to play quickly, but explain what I'm doing as best as I can. And I apologize if it's whipping over your heads for your newcomers here. This is not exactly a tutorial series, although I am trying to explain what I'm doing. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, drop me a line in comments and I'm happy to answer. If you'd like to discuss it in length, maybe hop on Discord instead. The link for that is through the website, radamat.com. And thank you all for watching. I hope you tune in next time. Adios.